I feel like rather than most games will just go big, this is it, and it's very thin. You know, again, let's take a big baguette, right? It's the easy way to explain it. You've got a baguette, It's quite long, it's quite large, and you're getting that butter or that filler, yeah, and you're spreading it in there, and it's very thin because you're trying to cover, you've got one knife roll of butter or whatever, yeah? What I found with this game so far, and just the way you're talking and the way the community is, they've spent the time on smaller things. So, you know, it's not the whole baguette, but you might get half of it, but each bit is very, very well padded out. Like you've said, you've got lore on ships. You said you haven't got aliens in there, but you've got alien lore, tongue, languages. That's a lot of stuff for something you haven't seen yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I applaud that.
Yeah, I would say...
That gets me excited for the game.
Sticking with that metaphor, like, they've needed the dough for a very long time.
Yeah.
They're just now putting it in the oven. And we're like, we really want this baguette because you haven't given us any parts of it yet. But we can see you've been putting it together for a while. So people are hopeful because, like you said, it's been in development for a long time. They announced this like 12 plus years ago.
I heard it's like billions, this game.
It's about, I'd say 8 to 900 million at this point they've raised.
Oh, it's million. Okay, because I was like, when I heard billions, I was like, I think that person's off his head. Because the other comment I got, the biggest one, other than people telling me to check out other adverts, was it was a scam. This is a scam. That is the biggest one I got, and I was like, whoa, hate her much. But the thing is, it's like, are you someone that's invested money and not got return? Because I can understand the scorn. Like, if you don't like it, don't play it. Like, you know, as you said earlier, there's other games for you. So that is my question to you. And that's a big one. This one's going to cause a bit of a stir. Is this game, is it a scam?
Oh, it just makes it too easy for me to make a
long
nice
pause.
clip out of this. No,
that's a long pause, dude.
It's actually it's a funny conversation. Okay, no, it's not a scam. It's very easy to see that it is not. They're making a game. It's coming along. It has been, I would say, a very poorly managed, ambitious project. They bit off so much. The easiest way to put it is like they took on a project like GTA 6 when they had a studio that was like 12, 15, 20 people. And
wow, okay.
It's like GTA 6, but then you're also including space stuff. Now, that's not to say that this is GTA in space, and that's like a really bad metaphor. I don't want anybody to get that idea, but the scale...
No, yeah, I get the scale, yeah.
Yeah. Rockstar is trying to make a huge game, both single and multiplayer. They're trying to make them in parallel, and they're trying to make something that will just blow everyone away. That's what this company's trying to do. And they started it as a new company without the IP, without any of these assets, without any of the lore. So they took a long time doing all of that kind of stuff. And during that time, they were still telling people that they were going to be getting a game. And so there are millions of people out there who have spent money over the last 12 years and were hoping for something to come along faster and simply have not seen it. On top of that, we've had ships that you've seen in those commercials that have still not landed in players' hands but been sold for money. We've seen many features and updates be pushed back quite a bit further than was originally advertised. Obviously, price tags for these ships are very high, so that on its own is not
I've heard.
great. Yeah, it's not good visually. Obviously, it's to fund this because unlike a company like Rockstar, CIG doesn't have a big publishing firm behind it to pay for it all. So they have reason to do it, but it puts them in a bad look. And then you combine that with delays, you combine that with the normal problems you have with project development, and it starts to lead to a lot of frustration and resentment from people, like you said, who spent a lot of money and not seen the return that they hoped for.
I think if you go in small, I would probably say money. I'm talking about, like, say for example, you pay out, I don't know, $100 or whatever it is for a ship or whatever it may be, and you get it straight away. Yeah, that works. But the fact is, you've said that, so some people spent big money on it and still not played for what they've paid for.
Yeah.
But they get access to the games. So what I'm saying is, I don't see it as a scam as in you're playing hours. You've got some people have put hundreds, thousands of hours into this, haven't they? Like, how many hours Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's not a scam, but you're enjoying what it is. But I just think you just got to see it as an investment that with the promise that you're going to get that ship. If you look at it with that mindset, I don't think it's too bad. But the thing is, today people want instant gratification. If I give you money, I want something in return like immediately. People moan at me, for example, on my channel, they're like, when's the next video coming out? I'm like, damn, I've just released it.
It's taking too long, man. Come on.
And that's what I get. I'm like, I'm not full time here. I'm part time YouTuber. Like, give me a break. And that's free. That's free content. That's not paid. And they're biting at my ankles. So yeah, I just think that, people that have invested one of the ships like 20 grand or something stupid like that. If you
can get a pack of ships for 20. The most expensive ship I think.
Yeah. It was like a pack of things.
Yeah.
Like if you can get access to parts of it, it's fine. But yeah, that's bad. That is quite bad if you're expecting. If it's got expecting 6 months, then at least you've got an answer. But yeah, I don't know. You've got to look at it as investment.
Some people have been waiting 8 years, 10 years for their ship, and there are some reasons that those ships don't come out. Like the gameplay is not there. It's honestly, it's kind of funny. The later that they make the ship you're looking for, the better they are at making ships. So technically your ship ends up being better because they have this, obviously technology is always improving. If they make your ship in 2018, by 2024, it's not as new as the other ones. So there is almost a benefit to getting your ship older, but a lot of them have been around for a long time without getting delivered. I will say this. There are things that if you buy a ship and it's not in game, you will get a loaner. So they'll give you something in game that takes the place of it. You can always sell the value of the ship that you got. So if you bought a ship in 2013 and you decide in 2024 that you don't want it anymore, you can sell it back to them for full credit and then buy something else on the store. So there's a pseudo refund kind of system for that. So they build some things in to make it feel like not as bad, but the fact of the matter is that you will run into a lot of people who both do not have anything to do with Star Citizen and also have played it a lot and have legitimate grievances that will tell you it's a scam.
Yeah, but the thing is, that didn't put me off though. I was just a bit like, well, in my mind, don't put the money in. But then again, for what is it, $40? Did you say $45?
Yeah,
you can get thousands of hours, maybe more. That's fun. Do you know what I mean? Of course, it's buggy and whatnot, but that was the biggest thing that put me off. Was people it's not playable, and I was like, what the hell? Why ask me to play it then if it's not playable?
They say it's playable in their trailers, and it's definitely not to the point where their trailer would imply. It's a glitchy mess, but you can get a lot of fun out of it and thousands of hours. Yeah.
You got to take the rough with the smooth, haven't you? It's a bit like a marriage.
You do, and people are getting sick of the rough. But there's a lot of talk about that. The other side of it is, as you saw, Squadron 42 looks really good. And what you actually saw is the first time in 7 years we've seen Squadron 42 gameplay. That is different because nobody can play that. We can only play Star Citizen. So that is a single player game that the company has been for a long time saying, trust us, it's being developed, it's going to show up, it's going to be good, and we haven't been able to see it at all.
Yeah.
So on top of the fact that they are selling all of these ships for Star Citizen, but then using a majority of the money being sold for Star Citizen ships to fund the development of Squadron 42, because that's easier to release. Right. That is also kind of the angle of, again, not a scamp, but certainly players think that they're funding Star Citizen and they're funding Squadron. I mean, they're funding both. They both use the same engine, but Squadron's the priority for the company because it's easier to get out. It can sell to more people, like you said. It can be like a Trojan horse to bring people in. So they have the strategy about it, but that strategy rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah, and it's also it's getting that water's getting hot underneath their feet, and they've got to put something out quick, haven't they? Because it's been too long, and at least they'll be like, well, we've put Squadron 42 out, okay? Yep. Because the thing is, the question is, will Star Citizen ever be ready? Because it's a bit like a film, you have to release it. If you don't release it, yes, of course, it's never going to be perfect. There's stuff that I've made in the past. I look at it now, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, why did I do that? It's just because that's the artist in you, I guess. So I think you've just got, are they always expanding it? Are they always expanding the universe? Maybe they should say, like, do you know what? We haven't quite got a baguette. We've got a small roll. Let's just bring. We've got a bap. Let's bring that out.
We got to finish this baking process. They've kind of done that.
Yeah.
So it was expanding quite a bit in different ways. It was like in little jolts. It's not like they were constantly doing this like new feature all the time. A lot of the new features that people think are new are features that they've talked about before and are bringing in, but they have added some things that have extended development. But this last year, actually in the same convention where that Squadron 42 trailer came out, they kind of said, okay, here is what the game's going to look like when it releases, and this is what we're working towards, so you guys all know. It's up to everybody to decide whether or not it's all worth it. I think it's reasonable to be pissed. It's taken a long time.
Yeah, it's just interesting because I've never seen like long games before. Well, I've seen long games, as in release dates and things like that. But it's, I had quite a few comments like, "This is a scam," and I was like, "Damn, that's I've not had that before." But they don't come in the comment section saying, "Hi, don't play this because it's a scam." They're like, "It's just a scam. It's almost like a place to rent." It's like, go away. No one's listening to you. Understandably, if you are burnt, be a little bit more of a human being about it and explain it and express it rather than just come into my feeds that was a cold caller and being like, don't do it. But at the moment, if you said are you going to play it or not, I'd say yeah, I'll definitely play it. But again, for me, it's hard to play games at the moment just because of work, as my real work, as well as the YouTube stuff, and then being a dad as well. So it's just a bit. I don't get a lot of time. So for something like Squadron 42 might be my way in, and it would kind of work. Like I'm like, oh, this is good. I get to play this, where I feel like Star Citizen is very much an ongoing thing. It's always going to be there. I said to someone in the comment section, it reminded me of Ready Player One. It's very much like an oasis, and it's your world. Yeah. And how exciting is that there's a space out there, no pun intended, that you can just do what you want to do. And I just think that's very exciting. And I get excited for players, as well as myself. If I win the lottery and I retire, I wouldn't even retire. But if I had a lot more time, I'd be like, yeah, let's go. Let's spend the whole week in it. I'm not leaving the house.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be excited by the idea of having a spaceship as your home and just being able to decide where that spaceship goes, who's allowed on it, and what it does. It's cool.
Can you rob other people? Can you rob them?
Oh yeah.
You break into their other ships?
Yeah. You can actually.
Someone said you can get insurance. I was like, so what?
There's ship insurance. The plan is actually that you can steal someone's ship, and if you're able to get it out to low security areas and wipe the transponder, you can like take the ship fully. It's yours.
What happens if you pay like $2,000 for this big ship? It gets stolen, wiped. What do you then do?
You would have to get an insurance claim on it. So it wouldn't cost any real money, obviously, but you'd have to wait some time in game, and you'd get it back at some point.
Would you have like just a little loaner ship? There you go. Have this little ship.
Just wouldn't have anything. You better hope you have another ship.
Then what'd you do?
Have another ship or get a ride from someone. I mean, like, so the idea is that it won't be based on everyone having a ship. You'll be able to get passenger transport. You can go and do like ground-based gameplay. You can be somebody else without having a ship. But yeah, generally you're going to want to have a starter ship always in your back pocket that if you need to, you can pull it out because something else happened.
That's certainly something.
Yeah.
So I was just like, that's bonkers.
And like you said, Star Citizen's going to always be being built. It's like World of Warcraft, like an MMO. It's just 20 years from now, the hope for them is that they're adding new stories and content and stuff. And Squadron 42 is more traditional of a release. So something that I think you're spot on. People who want to just like be able to try out space and not get super deep into this complex MMO can try Squadron. Maybe someday it'll even release on consoles and a bigger audience can try it out. But it is a military campaign. So I would be interested in seeing how much people gravitate towards that.